I'm not gonna do all that. All right. So here we go, okay? Y'all are helping walk me through this, okay? Y'all are helping walk me through this. I'm new to this, I'm just learning. That was funny. I'm so glad y'all laughed. All right. So in number one, okay, we want to see if those two triangles are congruent. If so, what are they congruent by? Okay, we already talked about it in today's openers that there are five ways that triangles can be congruent to each other. Side, 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 angle, side, angle, angle, side, HL, and none. Okay, I'm going to tell you that for numbers 1 through 4, all of these triangles are congruent, so you can go ahead and mark out none because all of them are congruent to each other in some way. Okay, figure number 1, what is inferred that's not marked? What's inferred but not marked? Good, your vertical angle. And I noticed when some of y'all are making your tick marks and your arc marks, you're making the same type of mark that's already on your figure. You can't. Angle I and angle F already have one arc mark, so your vertical angle cannot have one arc mark. Because what that suggests is that all 4 of those angles have the same measure, and that, based on what you see in the diagram, is not true and it's not given, so you can't infer that. Okay? So make sure that when you mark your figures on your own, make sure that you have different markings. Okay? If you already have a set of angles or a set of sides marked. Okay, so look, y'all be careful. How are these two triangles congruent to each other? By what? Y'all mark angle and sides. Mark it with A and S if you have to. What does angle, side, angle tell you? That your side has to be where? Is your side in between your 2 angles? No. Y'all be careful. Good. Okay. Look. Angle, angle, side. Angle, angle, side. Okay. So it's angle, angle, side. Now, be careful completing this congruent statement. I call the first triangle GHI. Remember, it has to follow the same pattern because your corresponding angles and your corresponding sides have to line up. So if I call the first triangle GHI, what's the name of the second triangle? Y'all look, GHI. Good, CHL. Okay, something else that I picked up and noticed, okay? when it gets down to writing the proof, some people just writing 3 letters, and I don't know if you're talking about an angle or a triangle. Y'all, you have to make sure you put your symbol. Otherwise, I don't know what you're talking about, okay? Let's hop over to example number 2, okay? Y'all, what's inferred in the diagram but not marked? The right angle's already marked. Be careful with it. Okay. Side BD is reflected to BD because triangle BAB has side DB and triangle BCD has side BD. Okay. Y'all look, be careful. How are these 2 triangles congruent to each other? Good. This time it is angle, side, angle. Okay, look, angle, side, angle. Angle, side, angle. Okay. Y'all, the reason is, I know I've written over it. Okay. The reason is, look, the side is in between the 2 angles, hence angle, side, angle. Y'all look, if I call the first triangle, triangle ABD, what has to be the name of the second triangle so that your congruent and corresponding parts line up? Good, CBD. Okay, triangle CBD. Good job, y'all. Any questions about number 1 and number 2? Okay. Number three. Who remembers what I told y'all these arrows on the sides mean? Not congruent. Parallel lines. Y'all look. Tick marks mean sides are congruent. Arrows means that those lines are parallel. Okay. Y'all, how many different sets of parallel lines do you see in this diagram? 2. Okay. Now go back and look at your, reasons, your list of reasons. Anytime you have sets of parallel lines, what type of angles are going to be present? Anytime you have parallel lines, what type of angles, are going to be present? Go back and look at your reasons for your statement writing. When we're writing proof, look at your reasons. Anytime you see parallel lines or they give you information about parallel lines, what do you know about angles in that particular diagram? Say one more time. Not interior, exterior. You close though. It does have something to do. Good. You have alternate interior angles. Okay. You have alternate interior angles. Y'all, since you have 2 sets of parallel lines, that means you're going to have 2 sets of alternate interior angles. Okay. The other day, I showed some of y'all real quick how to look at the Z. Y'all, I'll highlight them in different colors this time so y'all don't be confused. Okay. Miss Grubbs, where are the parallel lines and where's the transversal? Okay. Y'all look. Look for your Z, okay? If you go the other way, you have another set of parallel lines and a transversal, okay? But remember, your 2 sets of alternate interior angles are always going to be on your Z, okay? It's always going to be on the inside of your Z. All right, y'all, is there anything else that I can mark on this diagram? Good, they share the same side in the middle, okay? I'm gonna do it with purple just to differentiate. Now look, tell me how those 2 triangles are congruent to each other. Good, angle, side, angle, okay? Look, angle, side, angle, angle, side, angle. Y'all remember the difference between angle, angle, side, and angle, side, angle is that with angle, side, angle, the side is clearly, it's always going to be clear on your diagram. It's going to clearly be in between your 2 sets of angles. Okay. If I call the first triangle, triangle CAB, what has to be the name of the second triangle? Y'all, I said CAB. Is it DBA or ADB? Look, CAB. Y'all said D what? Good, DBA. Y'all make sure it follows the same pattern, okay? Number 4, that has thrown people off a good deal of the day. Y'all, what does bisect mean? Good, to cut in what? Good, to cut in half. So if it tells you that the diagonals bisect each other, what do we know to be true about the distance from PM to NM? Good, it's the same. Okay, it says the diagonals bisect each other. So now what do we also know to be true about the distance from K to M and Q to M? Since they bisect each other. Good, they're also the same. Okay, is there anything that we did not mark on this diagram that we should? Good, our vertical angle. Okay, now look, how are those 2 triangles congruent to each other? Good, side angle, side. Look, side angle, side, side angle, side. Okay, because I called the first triangle PMK, what has to be the name of the second triangle? Y'all look, PMK. Is it QMN or NMQ? Look, PMK. Good, it has to be NMQ because it has to follow the same pattern. Look, y'all, P to M, I have one green tick mark. M to K, two yellow tick marks. Okay, so I gotta follow that same pattern. N to M, M to Q. Okay, so that's why it has to be triangle NMQ. Okay, questions about numbers 1 through 4? All right, good deal, y'all. We rocking and rolling. Okay, let's slide down to numbers 5 through 8. Okay, number 5 through 8. Y'all on number 5, tell me what's not marked. Good. Okay. Good. PS is not marked. Okay. Look, tell me how those two triangles are congruent to each other. How are those two triangles congruent to each other? Good. Side angle side. Okay, look. The last part of our directions say if they are congruent, we have to write the congruent statement. Y'all tell me what we're gonna call the triangle on the left. I don't care the first name that I hear. I heard SRP first. Okay. So look, SRP. What's the name of the second triangle if we named the first one SRP? Good, SQP. Okay. Miss Grubbs, what if I had PRS? Good deal. Your second triangle would be named PQS. Okay. What if I said RPS, QPS? Okay. By side angle side. Okay, y'all, this is your congruent statement, and this is how they're congruent. I know last week, I didn't initially go into a lot of detail about what goes behind the blank when you see the word by. It's just how the two triangles are congruent to each other. Okay, y'all, please make sure when you look for this congruent statement, make sure that your corresponding angles line up, and make sure that your corresponding sides line up. If you don't, then that means your congruent statement is not correct. Okay, be careful. Number 6, y'all, what's inferred but it hasn't been marked yet? Good, the vertical angle. Y'all, before we even try to write the congruent statement, we have to figure out if they're congruent first. Okay, are these two triangles congruent to each other? If so, how? Good, y'all, angle, angle, side. Okay, for my visual people that need to see, make sure you write A next to your angle and S next to your side. So look, angle, angle, side, angle, angle, side. Now, if I call the first triangle in number 6, if I call it, I switched it up on y'all just because, okay? If I called it GIH, what has to be the name of the second triangle? Is it JIK or KIJ? Look, I called the first one GIH. Good. It has to be JIK. It has to follow the same pattern. Look, G and J, I, and H and K. Okay, so it has to follow that pattern. And then by angle, angle side. Okay. Questions. All right, number 7. Y'all, what's implied but not marked? Good, the shared side. Okay, so how are these two triangles congruent to each other? Good, side angle side. All right, tell me what y'all want to call the first triangle. The one on the left. Left.
Oh, that's all.
Uh-huh. Okay, I'm gonna roll with LON. If I call the first triangle LON, what's the name of the second triangle? Be careful. Y'all look at your marking. Look, LON. Good. N as in Nancy, M as in Mookie, and L. Yep. No. By what did y'all say again? Good, side angle side. Okay. Y'all be careful with number 8. Don't let it throw you off, okay? Before I even ask y'all, y'all already know and are able to identify the fact that side JG is congruent to JG because both triangles share the same side and it's reflexive. But y'all be careful. How are those two triangles congruent to each other? Not side angle side. Y'all, I know this angle down here. Good, it's HL, okay? Now, the reason that a lot of students think that it assume that it's side angle side, okay, is because you see this right angle. But look, in order for it to be side angle side, side FG would have to be congruent to HG, okay? So be careful, it's just HL. Y'all, I'm gonna squeeze it right there, the congruent statement, okay? Y'all tell me what y'all want me to call the triangle on the left. Okay, triangle JFG. So what has to be the name of the second triangle? If we call it JFG. Good, JHG. Y'all, how many different ways using the letter combination can we name a triangle? 1, 2, or 3? You can name it 3 different ways, okay? Y'all, you could have called this GIF. As long as you call your second triangle GJF, you could have called your second triangle GJA. Doesn't matter, okay? Again, as long as your corresponding parts line up in your congruent statement, no matter. Okay, y'all, that doesn't hold true on multiple choice, you know, because multiple choice, it's only going to be one correct answer. Okay, we talked about Cpctc on Friday. Some of y'all were absent on Friday. Okay, all Cpctc tells us is that if we can prove that 2 triangles are congruent, then we know all of their corresponding angles and sides are also congruent. Okay, with number 9, we're just completing the congruent statement. If this first triangle is called triangle DFE, y'all look at the markings. What has to be the name of the second triangle? Said DFE, and what did you say? Good. I put the J first. IJK. Okay, look, DFE, you go from 3 arc marks to 1 arc mark to 2 arc marks. So you got to follow the same pattern. I has 3 arc marks. Angle J has 1 arc mark, and angle K has 2 arc marks. So that's how you can tell that your statement is correct. Okay. Now, number 6, okay? Do not let problem number 6 mystify you at all, okay? You know that corresponding parts are congruent. Excuse me, hiccup, okay? Y'all, angle G is congruent to angle what? Angle G corresponds and is congruent to angle what? Look at your statement. Angle G is congruent and corresponds to angle what? Y'all look at your statement. Angle G is congruent and corresponds to angle what? Y'all, we're not pulling this from magic. Look, in our statement, it says angle G and angle L are corresponding and congruent, okay? That means they equal each other. They equal. If they're congruent, that really virtually means that they equal, okay? So if angle G has the measure of 2G plus 7, leave it right here. And they want us to find Z, okay? And we know angle L has a measure of 21. Y'all, we just take that 2Z plus 7 and set it equal to 21. Ms. Grubbs, why are we setting them equal to each other? because the problem asks us to find the value of Z. We know that angle G and angle L are congruent, so we can set them both equal to each other. That's it in a nutshell, okay? Going back to algebra, that's why you have to have algebra first. Y'all tell me, what's my first step here to isolating the variable? Good, subtract 7 from both sides. Y'all know magically, I never have a calculator. I know that's 14. What's the last step here? Good, divide both sides by 2. And what does Z equal? That's it, okay? They did not ask you to find the measure of the angle. They just asked you to find the value of Z, okay? Let's find the value of X now. Y'all, angle M and angle F are congruent and correspond. Y'all look, it's in your statement, okay? So to solve for X, take the 3X minus 8 and set it equal to 88. Ms. Groves, why are we setting them equal to each other? Because those two angles are congruent to each other, AKA they have the exact same measure, AKA if we need to find the value of X, just set the measure of those two angles equal to each other. And magically, not so magically, we can find X, okay? Y'all, how do I isolate 3X on the left by itself if 8 is being subtracted from it? I understand how I asked, listen to what I said again. How do I isolate 3X on the left side by itself if 8 is being subtracted from it? Good, just add 8 to both sides. Y'all, that's how you isolate something, do and undo operations. Y'all, 88 plus 8 is 96. Divide both sides by 3. Y'all know I don't have a calculator, so I need y'all to check my math. X equals 32. 96 divided by 3. Yep, okay, it's 32. Y'all, if you're given a problem, and we worked through a problem like this thing to this already, we just had to take the value of X and find angle measures. If they give you corresponding parts to find the length of or find angle to find the measure of, if you know the two congruent angles, set them equal to each other, that's it. Okay, y'all questions about number 6, okay? Y'all, I really think y'all have a pretty good firm grasp of the last two. Look, if I call the first triangle RAC, what's the name of the second triangle? Y'all be careful. RAC. Good. OPG. It has to be angle OPG. Okay. Y'all, this one always gets students caught up because of the name of the first triangle is Fox. Okay. What's the name of the triangle that's congruent to triangle Fox? Nope. Be careful. Good, it's BXO. Okay, that's intentional. Because we already knew y'all would assume that since the first one is called Fox, excuse me, the second one is going to be called Box. Nope, be careful. Look at your corresponding parts. All right. Y'all, after we finish this, I'm going to send y'all off on a practice on your own. Y'all, look. Notice you have a lovely word bank right here for your proof. Woo! Woo! Okay. You have a word bank. So there is no need for you to guess any of your missing statements or reasons because they're for you. They're there for you. Your possible choices. Okay, what you will need is your notes that have your list of reasons for you. Okay. Y'all can read through this really quick, the steps if you want to, but we're gonna roll through them together and we've already done some proofs. Okay. So look, it's given that side AB is congruent to side DC. It's already marked on the diagram for you. AB is congruent to DC. Okay, that's already marked. Y'all, that's our first statement. Remember, bless you, when you're writing proof, your first, second, sometimes third statement is gonna come from what's given, okay? And your proof, what you're proving is always gonna be your last statement, okay? So that should be the easy part. It's in the middle where some of y'all kind of get in, okay? Y'all, what's the reason for statement number one? Good, because that information is given. It is given. Y'all be careful with number two. How do we know that AC is congruent to AC? Good, y'all. Reflexive property. Is that marked on our diagram currently? Do we need to mark it to help us figure out how these two triangles convert to each other? All right, so there we go. Okay. Y'all, it says angle ABC. Remember, this is angle B because we're talking about this angle that's in the center of ABC. Remember, that middle letter always tells you what angle you're talking about specifically. That's the vertex of that angle. Okay. Angle ABC and angle CDA. Y'all, here's angle D. We know those two angles are right angles. Miss Girl, why can't we just call them D? No. Okay. We know that they're right angles. We can clearly see that. We have the box that shows us that these two angles are right angles. Okay. So we got that. That's clear. Y'all, how did we know that? What's the reason? Thank you. It is given. Okay, that was marked on the diagram for you. Y'all, anything that's marked on the diagram for you, that's considered given as well. Okay. Now, y'all, this next reason throws people off. Y'all, how do we know that angle ABC is congruent to angle CDA? What's the reason? Y'all look up in your memory bank or your word bank or choice bank. Good, because right angles are congruent. Okay, that's how we know. Or that's our reason. Miss Girls, what's that? I just drew it real fast, y'all. That's the symbol for angle. Sometimes I'll do that instead of writing a word out. Okay. Y'all, look at this figure. Do not be confused. How are those two triangles in that figure congruent to each other? Good, it's HL, okay? Again, I had somebody that was tempted to be like, Miss Gross, that's angle, side, angle, okay? I'm sorry, side, angle, side. Look, angle B is not in between side A, B, and AC, okay? Nor is angle D between side CD and AC. So it can't be angle, side, angle. Y'all look, AC represents the hypotenuse of each triangle. AB is the short leg, CD is the short leg. So you have the hypotenuse that are congruent and a set of congruent and corresponding legs. Hence, those two triangles are congruent to each other via HL, okay? Y'all, let's slide down to number 13. Miss Grubb, I see what we're supposed to be proving, but where is the rest of it? Okay, y'all, for some reason, when I copied this, it didn't print up. So I'm gonna slide your given information right underneath. I'll put it in red, so it'll be nice and bold, and you won't miss it. Okay, so this is the information that's given. And y'all, again, it just didn't show up, print up on the sheet when I printed it out. So RT is congruent to VT, and ST is congruent and corresponds to UT. Okay, my bad that it did not come out on the sheet like it was supposed to. Miss Girls, is the given usually going to the proof? No, y'all know I write too big, so I can't write it up there. That's not enough space for me. Okay, y'all, any questions? Ooh, I'm just about ready to send y'all off on your own. Almost, we almost there. Okay, so y'all look, no secret. How do we know that line segment RT is congruent to line segment BT? Good, it's given. Y'all, what do we need to do that? Good, you need to mark your figure. So here's RT and BT, okay? Y'all look, this time we have a statement missing, but the reason is given. So what's our missing statement? Good, y'all, really good. S side ST or line segment ST is congruent and corresponds to UT, okay? Good. Y'all, with the proof, again, it's not magic. Look, follow the steps that you have to take to prove that your two triangles are congruent. Again, before we start writing proofs, either we shared it out loud or you mentally thought it in your head. When you're writing a proof, you're just writing down what the steps are and how you went about proving that these two triangles were congruent to each other, okay? I think I heard somebody say that we have to mark, okay? They're absolutely correct. Now, we have statement number 3. Statement number 3 says angle RTS is congruent to angle BTU. Y'all, what would be the reason? The vertical angles, go ahead and mark them on your figure. Y'all, sometimes you might see vertical angles are congruent, okay? All right, mark your angles. Now, you have all of your sides and angles marked. You got your corresponding parts. How do we know that triangle RTS is congruent to triangle, excuse me, BTU? Good. Not angle, side angle, be careful. Good, side angle, side. Okay. Y'all, since we now know these two triangles are congruent to each other, how do we know that angle TSR is congruent to angle TUV? I mean, TUV, I did say it right. Good, Cpctc. Okay. That was what a lot of people in my first block were misunderstanding, is that when you are trying to prove an angle or a side congruent, you have to first prove how the two triangles are congruent to each other. Then you use Cpctc to say either that set of angles or that set of sides are congruent to each other, okay? Because that's what Cpctc means. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Oh, I didn't give y'all one complete proof that you had to do by yourself. Houseway, how did that happen? Okay. Don't worry, when we finish these 2 5-minute breaks. Okay. Number 1, y'all, what's the reason? Okay, given. Brain break soon as we finish. Y'all, how do you know that statement number 2 and reason number 2 are correct? Okay, so Ms. Grubbs, how do we know that angle Y and angle C were congruent to each other? And the reason is that the information is given, but it's not listed in the column that says given. Y'all, look, it's marked, okay? That's how we know that. Y'all, what does mid in midpoint mean? Middle. Y'all, look, if point A is the midpoint of line segment YC, what happens to that segment? If point A is the midpoint of line segment YC, what happens to that segment? It's cut into 2 equal parts. Blam, blam. Y'all told me midpoint means what? Middle, okay? Which means that from A to Y and from A to C have the same measure, okay? So what is missing for statement number 3? Look, you said YA, right? So what should you call the second one? CA. Y'all don't overthink it. Look, what's our reason if A is the midpoint of that line? Good, definition of a midpoint. Y'all, I meant to do that in blue, but it's in green, so I'm gonna let it ride. Okay, definition of a midpoint. Y'all, look, if midpoint is part of what's given, then one of your reasons is gonna be definition of a midpoint, okay? It is. Y'all, what did we not mark in this diagram that's implied? Good, our vertical angle. I'll be jazzing and doing different colors. Okay, your vertical angle. Woo! Before we write the statement, let's skip over to the reasons. I'm gonna go one step ahead like y'all do sometimes. Y'all, look, how do you notice these 2 triangles are congruent to each other? I skipped to number 5. I'm trying to throw y'all off. I skipped to the reason for number 5. What's the reason that these two triangles are congruent to each other? What'd you say? Uh-huh. Oh, and I'm skipping in all these different colors. Miss Grubb, do we skip statement number 4? Y'all, that's a common thing that I noticed in first watch. You can't skip any statement when you're proving how triangles are congruent because you got to identify all your corresponding parts and angles. Y'all look, what's missing from statement number 4? Your reason is vertical angles. Okay, since I've been doing them all in different colors, let me just do this line in different colors. Okay, vertical angles are congruent. But look, what are we missing in the statement? That side, those are sides. Be careful, remember to name an angle, you need 3 letters.
Oh.
Not ZAB, but this good ZAY. ZAY is congruent to angle what? Look, ZAY. Oh yeah, ZAY. You said what? Yeah, BAC. All right, good deal. Y'all look, the reason why you can't skip any of your statements or reasons, look, this says angle, side, angle. That's what helps you prove angle, side, angle. So you can't skip any of this, okay? All right, last one, and then I'm getting ready to send y'all to fly on your own like some birds. Nope. Oh, after y'all do the brain break, then I'm gonna send y'all off to fly like birds. Okay. What are we missing from statement number 1? Good. Angle B is congruent to angle C. Again, there's no mystery in the magic to where Mariah got that from. It is on the diagram. So you have angle B and angle C marked already. Again, remember, sometimes they won't give you what's given and what you're trying to prove on your diagram. They'll just leave statements out and mark your figure. Okay. What's the reason? Okay, it's given. All right. How do we know that side AC is parallel to BD? Good, that's given. Ms. Grubbs, where is that? That's why you have those 2 arrows on your side. Okay. Y'all be careful. How do we know that angle CAB? I'm gonna go ahead and mark. Okay. 2 arcs. How do we know the angle CAB is congruent to angle, excuse me, BDA? Okay. How do we know that those 2 angles are congruent to each other? Be careful, y'all. Those are not vertical. Not reflexive, y'all. Reflexive only tells you how 2 sides, how a shared side. Good. Alternate interior. Remember, parallel lines, you know, one of your reasons that a set of angles is going to be congruent is alternate interior. Y'all, again, that symbol right there, that means angles. I just didn't feel like writing it out. Okay. What are we missing at statement number 4? Y'all already said it. Y'all just said it too early. Good. What's the name of the side? Good. AD is congruent to AD. And what's the reason again? Y'all told me already. Good. Reflective property. Okay. Oh, and our last statement. We almost ready for that brain break. It says triangle ACD is congruent to triangle what? Y'all be careful. Look, it's ACD. Good. DBA. Triangle DBA. By what? Good. Angle side. Okay, again, for my visual people, if you need to mark, look, angle, side, angle, side. Y'all, any questions? All right, y'all, good deal. Yes.